Hey everybody, Elfnet here from Unknown Marketer, and this is the presentation I did for Nathan's groups over at My Internet Startups. And so I'm shooting it again just in case, because I didn't actually shoot the live version of the presentation. And so if anybody wants to see it again, I will do it again here. This isn't where I normally shoot as well. It was just unfortunate that it kind of ended up this way today. Usually I'm in a bigger studio with a bunch of lights and all sorts of good stuff, but today I'm just in a smaller studio. So we'll use what's available. So, done is better than perfect, as Scavenger Hunt said at tonight's event. Anyway, so today's presentation is called Get More Clients, period. How to get more customers and more traffic to your business. And I use the word more that way on purpose. It's an internet meme where people say, I want some more. And it's from, I believe it was started with Icon Has Cheeseburger. So this is for you, Leslie. So more, I want more. All right. So there's only 4 ways to grow a business. How many ways? 4 ways. And we're going to cover all 4 of those ways today. You're going to either increase the number of prospects to your business, right? So if you have a live, brick and mortar type place, you need more people walking by, seeing your sign and walking in the door. If you're on the internet marketing space, then you need more web traffic coming to your site, by which, through social or paid or organic or however you want to drive more people to your stuff. But that is one of the 4 ways to grow your business. Second way to do this is to increase sales conversion. So if you're going to increase sales conversions, that means, people walk by, they see it, they want to buy something, and then they buy something, right? So the more people that click through and buy things, the more people that walk into your store and then walk out with something after giving you a pile of money. So the sales conversions are also important. So you can have prospects coming in, but if you don't make any sales, you can have all the prospects in the world, ain't nothing going to happen, right? So that's the other way to grow the business. You have to increase sales conversion numbers. The next way to do it is to increase average transaction size. So average transaction size, when you're looking at, say, for example, a fast food restaurant, when they ask you, would you like fries with that, right? That tag on of transaction size actually increases the bottom line by a whole heck of a lot, right? Do you want to supersize those drinks and those fries and everything else? And then last but not least is increasing purchase frequency, having people come back and purchase more often than before. So these are the 4 ways to grow a business. We're going to cover a bunch of this stuff in the ideas I throw down during this presentation, and we're going to kind of just cover, just these different things of how to drag more people into the door. So that being said, if we simplify marketing, this is Mind of a Marketer's kind of mantra and our architecture and our structure for everything. Marketing simplified. If you boil everything down to its just core components, right? There's only 4 pieces, really. It's traffic, driving people to the store, driving people to the site, having more people show up. More people show up means more people get your message, means you have more chances to make that sale. Then the next thing is that you want them to join some sort of lists, right? Don't just have them walk in the store, walk out of the store and disappear forever, and then they'll never come back. So you want them to join some sort of list, whether it's a physical mail list, right? You can actually send them a letter, right? Or your email list, or joining your social media following, so they follow you and they see you on a regular basis if you post on a regular basis. That list building procedure, it's much more cost effective than traffic, because traffic costs way more money. Like brand new, net new traffic will always cost more than reaching out to your constituents, reaching out to your list members, reaching out to your Facebook fan page, reaching out to your Facebook group, reaching out to your meetup group, which is how most of you guys found this thing. And then obviously from there on in, it's conversion, right? Are people converting? Are they joining the list? Are they buying the stuff, right? And are they basically receiving the message, resonating with that message, and are they saying, yeah, that is me, shut up and take my money? And then obviously the last piece is the handoff to sales. That's the last piece, handing off to sales and making all that happen. So this is what Marketing Simplified is, but this is the Get More Clients presentation. So we're just going to focus on that one thing where it's just traffic. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I have some ideas for foot traffic, and I actually came up with like 40 or 50 of these things. And since the talk I was scheduled for was only half an hour long, I wanted to stick to the time constraints. So I narrowed it down to 3, which I'm going to reuse in this presentation here, but I will actually elongate this over time and turn this into like a series for ideas, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot a bunch of ideas around this type of thing. And yeah, it's just going to be part of my blog where I just talk about marketing and ideas that you can use to get more traffic increase more foot traffic. So we'll be doing 3 ideas for foot traffic for brick and mortar type stores, and we'll do 3 ideas for internet traffic for digital stores and digital businesses. So that's what we're going to cover today. So I'm going to do 3, and we'll go from there. So idea number 1 was good signage. Okay, so for those of you who've never seen this before yet, this is Burger King dressed up as McDonald's for Halloween. Okay, I thought this picture was friggin' hilarious. So I'm like, that's straight up genius. You can actually see the Burger King logo, well, bits of it behind the eyes on the ghosty thing, and then they just spray painted the word McDonald's on it. And I thought this was genius. If I saw this and I was walking past, I'd be like, that is amazing. Shut up and take my money. I'm gonna do this, right? And I don't even like Burger King that much anymore. I just got used to A&W because that's they're closer to where I am. I kind of like them because they're healthier. But Burger King, if they pulled this stunt in my neighborhood, I would totally show up, just because I'm a marketing geek and I love this kind of stuff. And it also, everybody else showed up too, right? So everyone thought this is Halloween. When I did the live version, I asked, hey, so who celebrates Halloween? Everyone's hands shot up. And while the hands were shooting up, said, Burger King celebrates Halloween. Look who they were for Halloween. And they dressed up as McDonald's. The room just broke out into laughter. So this is kind of the first suggestion, first structure. How many businesses have you guys walked by, right? And, really honestly assess yourself and put yourself into this scenario. Are you one of these businesses where you don't have good signage, right? Are people walking by your store go have no idea what the hell you sell? Okay, there's a bunch of places I've seen it with like no store sign, just a bunch of stuff. I'm like, well, what the hell do you sell? Who are you? What do you do? Right? I don't want to look through all your stuff. I want to know kind of, hey, I want to buy cheese. If your sign says cheese, I'm coming, right? Otherwise, if you sell trinkets and this and things made of wood, that doesn't interest me right now. I'm hungry. I'd like some cheese. Do you sell cheese? And that's kind of what people are missing from their signage, right? Just the bare minimum, just the basics, right? And then once you've got the basics down, then you can kind of strive for good, and then you can strive for great, right? So this is one of those things where, if someone can't walk into your store, see your sign and go, I know what they do, right? Then you're doing it wrong, right? So either it has to be in your name, or it has to be on a sign somewhere with a bunch of stuff, with like a menu of things that they can buy. If someone were to walk into our old office when we had a physical office, because we're all digital now, it was a giant sign that said "Mind of a Marketer," and marketing agency, right? So people could look at it and go, "Oh, marketing! I need some of that," or "I don't need any of that." And what you want to do is you want to detract the people who are not your customer, right? Make them go away, because you don't want to waste their time, and you don't want to waste your time, right? And some people are like, well, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I want everybody. No, you don't. You actually don't want everybody. If you want to, good marketing should bring customers in that fit you and you fit them, and should detract people who are not a fit. So that's one of the big things. So in your signage, if you're really clear about who you are and what you do. So the other speaker at the event, his name is Kayvon, and what he shared with us was actually really inspiring as well. He said, why don't you go 4 levels deep? And if you go 4 levels deep with your description of who you are and what you do, I will remember you. And this is the next day, after sleeping and, doing a bunch of other stuff and going to the gym, I still remember the conversation that we had, because he went 4 levels deep in his example. And so what he did was, I literally just came from the gym, and he used an example of a personal trainer. So I'm a personal trainer. Great, everyone's a personal trainer. Wonderful. What differentiates you from everybody else? Well, I only train women. Oh, okay, gotcha. So again, good marketing attracts the right people, detracts the wrong people. So I only train women. And I train women who have just gained a whole bunch of weight, specifically from just being pregnant and the baby's out now, and now they want to lose this weight. Okay. When you go that 4 levels deep, that gives you a very specific type of thing, but now you've kind of narrowed down your marketplace. So you're attracting the right clients and you're detracting the wrong ones. That's what good signage is supposed to do. So if you can go, a couple layers deep in your signage, and a couple layers more deep in the menu, and a couple more layers deep in like the subtext and everything else around that on the website, signage around the store, that makes it so that it's good signage. It's one less thing that you have to explain a million times a day, right? So that's the other thing. It keeps your sanity in check, because you're not trying to explain the same thing over and over again. So the next thing I want to talk about is foot traffic idea number 2, the welcome attention mat specifically. So this is going to sound very rudimentary, okay? But just putting out a welcome mat for your physical store is one small subtextual thing that people just don't think about. They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You put out a welcome mat, people feel welcome coming in, and the nicer the welcome mat, the more welcome they feel. Right? So instead of just a normal black rubberized mat that you kind of see everywhere, I've seen this one person put out a really fluffy, carpety red, literally rolling out the red carpet. It was only a mat this big, but it was big red and had the word welcome on it. Sounds great. Okay. Another one, I can't remember which words it was, but it was something like welcome and then goodbye, and it was the same mat and the same everything. But if you look at it from one angle, it was welcome. If you went the other way, it was goodbye. I'm like, that's crazy. I don't remember what the exact words were, but it made me feel welcome, and it made me feel like, hey, it's saying goodbye nicely, and it was really, really interesting that way. So just welcome attention mat and methodology works really well. What happened was, so yesterday when I talked about this thing at the live event, I talked about having a flower shop. And what they did was the flower shop takes the petals that fall off the flowers, they just sweep them up and they throw them in the garbage, because that's what normal people do, right? You don't hoard these things. And I told them, why don't we do the exact opposite? Why don't we do the exact opposite of what we normally do and what normal people do? Because there was this really good article where like there's 99 fish swimming one direction, and every one of those 99 fish gets the same result, the same thing, and somebody wants something different. So there's this one fish going the other direction, and yes, it's a little scary going out without your school of fish, but if you do what everybody else does, you'll get the same result. So you have to do something different. So what we did with this flower shop is we got them to save all the petals, and because petals add up after a while, and we actually got this crazy row of petals, right, going from one end of the block to the other, and then leading to the store front of the flower shop. And because they're organic, nobody cares, right? Like if the wind blows, like flower petals fall from the trees, right? That's a normal thing. But because they had this row of petals, as long as it's not too windy, people would be interested. They'd be intrigued. They'd be like, hey, there's a row of petals. And because, humans are pattern recognition engines, we're like, hey, there's a pattern. And then you follow the pattern to the store, and you go, oh, flower store. That makes sense. And if you are interested, it's now, broken, the attention barrier, and you might be interested in joining and buying flowers. So that's it there. The story I wanted to share on this slide was called The Bricklayer in the Museum. So this is a funny case study. We paid some literally homeless guy to take a row of bricks, literally brick and brick and brick and brick, and it was a long row of bricks. And all he did was he took one brick from the end of the bricks, picked it up, walked all the way to the other end, plunked it down, and then did it again. And we instructed him, please go around the block. And he did. He went around the block, and people would stop and stare and wondering, what is he doing? Is this some sort of performance art? Is this some sort of, what's this guy do? What's this guy do? Is he building something? Why is he building bricks in the middle of the sidewalk? So there's a bunch of unanswered weird questions. Traffic stopped for a while. I'm sure the police loved that. But people will stop and go, what the hell is he doing? Everybody looking over at him going, is he crazy? And so what we told him to do was go around the block a couple times and then go into the museum. So he started putting the bricks into the museum, and because we kind of told him which path to go, the bricks led into the area where you had to pay to get into the museum. And people were following this man around. So what ended up happening is we ended up selling more tickets to the museum that day than any other day, and it was just because we had this guy literally picking up a brick, putting it at the end. Now, you can't obviously pull this off day in and day out, but you have to come up with crazy, again, welcome mat attention ideas. It starts off with the very basics of having a welcome mat, right? I'm sure the museum still has a welcome mat out there now. But this was the welcome attention, welcome mat strategy to drag people to come in to the store. And it worked because people were so curious. What the hell is this guy doing? And it turns out that he was literally just taking the brick, moving it over, taking the brick, moving it over. But then, with shiny object syndrome, everyone's like, oh, look, a museum. Hey, that looks cool. Hey, the tickets are only $14.95. We can afford that. Hey, let's go follow this crazy brick guy while we go check out the museum, right? And then that worked out really well. Foot traffic idea number 3, indirect plays, the scavenger hunt. So indirect plays is getting customers to come to your location through a different reason, a different resource, a different why, right? So different purpose. So we did the scavenger hunt in New Mexico, and what we talked about was literally hiding gold and silver pieces in trees, okay? Taking a picture of said tree and then waiting there. So we'd post this on social media and waiting there and waiting for people to show up and then, taping the reactions, videoing the reactions of the winners finding the treasure and then posting the reaction as a response to the original post where people were like, oh, here's your clue. And what would happen is that over time, this group would just grow and grow and grow. And what we did was we banded a whole bunch of local businesses together. And taking these businesses together, and what they did was they all kind of sponsored it, a couple grand each. And we would hide stuff near their locations where it would force people to go to their location for a reason other than buying their stuff, so they would get attention and be able to sell more stuff, right? So there was a motorcycle shop, right? They sold more motorcycles. There was, I think it was a bank. There was more people coming to that bank using their ATM machine, getting withdrawals, potentially, here pitching them a new account, or here's a new Visa card, or whatever it is. So what happened was we got a bunch of businesses to work together, build out the scavenger hunt, and just sent people on a merry chase all over town. What happened is that we also got a bunch of earned media from this. We got people who were interested in learning more about, hey, what's the scavenger hunt about? How are you finding gold in the middle of nowhere? And gold and silver and actual coins and bars and whatnot. And ended up getting, traffic on the TV, news, radio. People started to talk about it, started to trend. And because of that, the social media groups just start to balloon. The amount of impact you get in the community starts to balloon. Everyone starts to pay attention. And everyone wants to be a part of this, treasure hunt thing. And so because of that, this is another indirect play to drive foot traffic to your places. So if a bunch of people got together and we hit a bunch of stuff, and there's stuff in all the locations, right, or close by your location, all of a sudden you get all this indirect traffic that keeps walking by the store. Again, if you follow the steps I talked about earlier, right, we have good signage, right? So we have the treasure hunt and we have good signage. We put those together. Then you have the treasure hunt, and you got the welcome attention mat methodology that we just talked about. The treasure hunt, they'll run by the row of flowers or flower petals. They'll see the petals. They'll be like, that's interesting. Then they'll go in the store, right? Maybe looking for clues, but they also might have to buy flowers for whoever, right? It might be their mother, it might be their girlfriend, might be the husband, might be whatever, right? I mean, if someone likes flowers, they like flowers. But now you got their attention, and you're slowly melding these ideas and these structures together. So I came up with like 50 of them. But what we're going to end up doing is I'll probably put this into a show type thing and just have people asking me questions of how do I drive more traffic to blah, whatever your store methodology is. I'm a photographer. I sell pictures of pets. I do insurance. Whatever your thing is, we can probably drive traffic to you guys by melding some of these ideas together and just mixing and matching whatever would make sense for you and your company. So those are the 3 ideas for foot traffic. I'm going to move quickly into the ideas for internet traffic. And so idea number 1, getting your listings right. So when you guys spell the word street, as an example, street, S-T-R-E-E-T, do you spell it with a capital or lowercase? When you submit this stuff to Google, Yelp, even Yahoo business listings, right? When you submit this to Facebook, when you submit this to basically everything, how are you spelling your address? Because Google treats street with a capital, street with a lowercase, ST period, capital ST period, all as different addresses, right? So that's a very rudimentary example of what I'm saying. It's got to be consistent. So a consistent NAP, and we use the word NAP. I want you all to take a nap, okay? So hopefully I'm not that boring. But it's name, address, and phone number, NAP, N-A-P. And if that's consistent everywhere you go, the more links that point to you using the consistent NAP, the stronger your link base will be, the easier it's for people to find you. And just putting the basic information out there. Like, for example, I do rely on Google and Google Maps and Google My Business to tell me when is a place open? When is a place closed? Right? Where are they located? Can I find them on the map? Can I get directions to get there? Right? All these little different pieces. Okay? What's their phone number? You guys have seen phone numbers separated by, parentheses and then a number, or like a +1 in front of your number, or just a 1 in front of your number, or like numbers and then dots in between. So you want to have consistency between these things, just based on whatever the systems will allow you. Because some systems will force you to put parentheses, some systems won't. Some systems will allow you to put dots, some systems won't. You just want to be as consistent as possible. And the more consistent you are, the more links you build. I think I have a list of like 500 locations to put your name, address, and phone number, and business description, and hours of operation, and what kind of payments do you take? Do you take Visa, MasterCard, blah, blah, blah. So all these different things are really important in getting people to come to your site and come to your website, because the more that's out there and the more symmetrical it is, the more consistent it is, the more power you end up having for your listing. And hopefully that makes sense. Number 2. So back to the Burger King. So for those of you who haven't seen this one, it's called Billions Swerved. It was redirecting customers from competitors. And it's called the Whopper Detour. The campaign was, again, I'm using Burger King again for two examples, which is crazy for Burger King because they're not usually at the top of the game for marketing, but the last year or when they did this, they totally were. So the Whopper Detour, you can see the McDonald's logo here in the E for Whopper Detour and with the squiggly arrow. What you could do is you could buy a Whopper for $1, but you had to be at a McDonald's. So the instructions were go to McDonald's, download the Burger King app. You can order a Whopper for $1, and then it would give you directions how to get to the closest Burger King so you can go pick up your Whopper. And this was straight up genius. They were literally stealing customers from their competitors. So you had to go to a McDonald's. They actually, geo-fenced all the McDonald's on the map. And if you were standing in one of those, you could order that. Only if you were standing in one of those could you order the Whopper for $1 from Burger King. And then they would give you directions on how to get to the closest Burger King. So this was a genius marketing campaign. The return on ad spend was incredible. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head right this minute, but they were crazy. And I'm like, this is one of those best campaigns ever. So we're an SEO company, right? So this is back in the day. I'm never going to say who it is, but there was a red bank and like a green bank. And, we would SEO for one or the other. I'm not going to say which one because then I'll get in trouble. And so what happened was when we SEO'd for, let's pretend that we were on the red bank side or the green bank, doesn't really matter. And we would SEO for the competitor. And we would have more articles, more information, and more everything on the competitor out there on our site than they had anywhere. Well, what happened is we started to rank for the competitor's name on our site, right? Which was crazy, which drove them up the wall, right? So you can definitely do this still. This still works in today's day and age. You could rank for your competitor's name because you just had more, valuable content about your competitor than they had at all, period, right? So I got this idea from there was a did you know mission thing, and it was saying that there are more honors students in India than there are students in North America. Right, so usually the honor students is, we have the whole student population, and we have the honor roll and the honor students. And then they have, just because their population is so large, they have more of those people than all of North America. And I started to think about that. How can I use that in marketing? And, you can redirect customers from your competitors, literally by saying nice things about your competitors, but then comparing and contrasting that to your services and saying, well, if that's not for you, you might want to take a look at this. Here's what makes it different. Here's why you should buy from us, USP, your normal marketing spiel. And that works wonders, right? So you can definitely redirect customers from competitors. You can target them specifically on, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all that sort of stuff, right? So yeah, and it's a great technique, works really well. The last idea was when people are searching for you and looking for you online, are they finding you? I use this because there was a dentist on street name. I won't say who it is for embarrassment factor, but dentist on street name. When you typed in dentist on street name, that was their damn name, okay, and they didn't rank for it. And the hilarity of it and the irony of it was literally, it was terrible. You typed in dentist on street name, and it would show you every other dental firm on that street except them, and it was their frigging name. So that was terrible. We fixed it, but I mean, this is happening to you, right? This is happening to you guys. When people look for you online, are they finding you? Right? That's a real question. This is what's called search engine optimization. I mean, let's face it. Like Google is now a verb, right? It used to be a noun, a person, place, thing, business name, but now it's a verb. Why don't you just Google it? Right? Once you become a verb, you're essentially a household name. It's kind of like Kleenex. It's kind of like a Photoshop. Why don't you just Photoshop it, right? Can you get me a Kleenex, right? It's not actual Kleenex. It's tissue paper. I don't care what the brand is. I just call it Kleenex because they did such a good job branding. So Google did that, and because everyone uses Google, you should be there too, and that's what makes sense. So put your wallets away. There's actually nothing to buy here. If you're watching this particular video, I don't know how you got to this video, but if you're watching this particular video, I'm going to post it on Meetup, I'm going to post it on YouTube, I'm going to post it on a couple places. If you find this video, put your wallets away, there's nothing to buy. What we're going to do is give you a crazy little offer here, and the only way to get this offer is going through here. So there are 2 offers. This is my favorite sign. It looks like it says free beer, but if you look really close, it goes free Wi-Fi, cold beer, right? But we're not going to be that sneaky. Offer number 1, free SEO. So we just talked about, how to drive traffic, some of these ideas. If you'd like some free SEO, while supplies last, we've got an X number of these things that we can give away every month. Number 1, you need a website. We can't SEO nothing, right? We can't SEO your Facebook page. You need to have an actual website that you can own and control and host, and that we can manipulate and do things to. And that's what we're going to do to shoot it up the ranks. So you need a website. Number 2, it's got to be in WordPress. Okay, I don't want to do a bunch of custom installs for free stuff, and so what we'll do is we'll happily do it if you're a WordPress site. All we need for you to do is just drop off your name, number, and email address, and if you can do those 3 things, we will do the free SEO for you. If you qualify, obviously you need a site, it's got to be in WordPress, and we will totally give you a free SEO for some of the keywords so more people can find you, and we'll just drive traffic to you guys for free. And hopefully, there's no gun held to your head. We're not going to like phone you every day. But if you'd like to expand the services in the future and grow at a faster rate, obviously the free one doesn't grow as fast as the paid ones, but it gets you started, right? If you're just getting started and you need something, this is better than nothing. If you already have an SEO program, this could augment it, make it even go faster. We're happy to help. So that's the first offer for Get More Clients. The second offer is the free marketing checklist. I'm going to put these all together. So all these crazy ideas I've had, all these studies I've done, all these weird experiences I have, I'm going to make a free marketing checklist where you can take a look at some of these crazy ideas. And again, we're actually going to turn this thing into a course, something we sell, where you can have 172 ideas on how to drive traffic. But in the meantime, if you sign up for this thing, I'm gonna slowly drip feed these things out. I'm gonna do sessions where I grab my microphone and do a podcast, and just have people ask me random stuff. And that's what we're gonna check out here. We're just gonna have a free marketing checklist. If you want it, drop off your name, number, and email, again, while supplies last. So eventually we're going to turn this thing into a proper course. But in the meantime, while it's not a proper course yet, well, you can have it for free if you, again, email us and then join our newsletter. I think that brings us to the end of the presentation. If you want the free stuff, because this is the digital version of the presentation, and I'm not there to collect your business cards this time around, contact me. My name is Earl, again, at mindofmarketer.net. So Earl at mindofmarketer.net. Just let me know that I've watched the video, get more clients. Just make that your subject line, get more clients, or just more. And take me up on whichever offer you like. This is the only way in the future to be able to get access to these 2 things. I will not be giving these things away at a later date. Eventually we'll be charging for the marketing idea list, and we will obviously charge for SEO. But I'm gonna foot the bill here and just pay for a couple SEO accounts for some of you guys, and that way you can enjoy some extra traffic. Hopefully you grow your business, and then you might consider us to be your marketing partner moving forward. I think that's all I got. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you guys at the next event and our next video. Bye for now.